This is the 7 habits of highly successful no fappers, people who have made it 30 days, a year, and beyond in succeeding with no fap. Now, over the years coaching, I've noticed trends with people who have been successful. And when you can follow patterns or habits of people that are doing something right, you can learn a lot from that. And that's my goal today. And if you just tuned into this, you want to stay until the end and wait till I reveal this bonus because you're going to love it. The first habit that I've noticed is consistent physical exercise and workout routines. The successful no-fappers I've found, including myself, have always had some sort of consistency around physical exercise. I mean, we know the benefits of physical exercise. They release feel-good chemicals, hormones, the things that we often try to get through porn or fapping. Our brains on a daily basis are being soaked with feel-good chemicals because we work out. We have all the physical benefits that come with training. It also acts as a way to release creative energy or sexual energy that builds up when you're on a no-fap streak. So that's one of the biggest things, consistency. Now, when I first started and I was on my 4.5-year no-fap streak, personally, I was working out about 4 or 5 days a week. Nowadays, I work out 3 days a week, but I walk at least 30 minutes every single day. And that's just the habit. That's the default. I don't even have to think about it. It just happens. It's part of my life. I've been doing it since my younger days. I've been very consistent with working out. And this is one of the things I've noticed. People who don't work out, they really struggle with this habit. They just don't have enough of that feel-good chemical that's naturally released when you're working out. They don't have that carrying with them throughout the week. And they also don't have their body operating at its best. The brain, the body, when you're in peak physical shape, or at least you're working towards that, your brain and body really respond differently to stress and other factors. So physical exercise is the biggest one, I would say, as a success habit to set you up to have longer streaks. Now, if you're not working out, that's the first thing you're going to want to work is get a plan together, hire a personal trainer, whatever it takes to break through and get success with your physical health, your physical exercise. That is essential. The second habit of successful no-fappers is some sort of meditation practice. It doesn't have to be a specific kind of meditation, but I've noticed a trend that everybody that I've worked with that has made it past 30 days has some sort of meditation practice. And the reason for that, it's probably a lot of reasons. One, it can help relax you and reduce stress. But two, people who are active in meditation have a strong bridge that not only helps defend them from unwanted thoughts, but also helps them create this padding that protects them from quick responsiveness to triggers. So for example, someone who doesn't meditate will often find that they're triggered by something visual and they don't have any control. They jump right into the fapping habit. You know, watching porn, masturbating, that's what they jump into immediately. They have no control. But what I mean by bridge is it lengthens the time from trigger to response. That's what I mean by some sort of meditation practice. So that part of the brain is stronger and they can do many other things like self-regulation. All these things come naturally to them just by doing some sort of daily meditation practice. Sleep consistency. Sleep is responsible for not only clearing your stress, but it's also responsible for your regulation of different hormones in your brain and body. So if you're deprived on sleep, you're literally turning up the possibility for triggers and arousal to take over your life. It's just simple as that. When you get the right amount of sleep for you, whether it's 6 to 8 hours, that's going to not only increase your willpower, it's going to increase your defense from stress. It's going to increase your defense from cravings. So the funny thing is I've been tracking my sleep for about 5 years now, ever since I started all this. And I can consistently tell you, if I ever have 5.5 hours of sleep or less, that whole day is going to be a literal battle to not cave. It's going to be an uphill battle. But the days I get 7 hours, 7.5 hours, 8 hours of sleep, it's like absolutely no cravings through the day. I'm totally fine. So keep that in mind. Sleep mastery is an area you want to focus on and nail. Sleep training, whatever it takes to nail that habit of good sleep, it makes the difference. Having clear and meaningful goals. So the people who have been most successful, they have a deep why. They know why they're doing it, but they also have other goals that really light them up and fill them up. Whether it's business goals, relationship goals, they have this vision, this clear vision of what they want and why they want it, and they go after it. And that often is enough to stimulate them so much that they don't really get bored. I mean, you hear being bored is the biggest trigger. Oh, I was bored. Like that was my trigger. Well, when you have clear, meaningful goals and you're fired up and you want to get them, boredom isn't really a thing. So this is one of the trends I've noticed really successful no-fappers have in common is they have goals and ambitions. They have a drive for something that they want. And if you're stuck on goals, and a lot of people are, go really simple. Go, a couple months or even this month and map out, 3 things that you want for your health, your wealth, and your relationships. Those are the 3 categories, the 3 buckets that will never fail you. Just set a goal or a milestone there and just go after it. That can spark you enough to put you in a higher state so you're less dependent on porn and other stimulants to try to just pick yourself up and temporarily boost your state. So find a clear, meaningful goal, and the more meaning you have behind your goal, like the more leverage you have behind the goal, the more powerful the goal. And I'll give you a really quick story about what Tony Robbins shared with me at one of his seminars. He said, imagine you have this is about leverage and getting leverage in your goals. Imagine you had a house that was surrounded by electricity, electric fences, a moat. There was sharks in the moat, dragons in the moat, because I've been watching Lord of the Rings, and basically unlimited locks all over the house. There's no way to get into this house. It's protected. But if I told you, I want to tell you that there's something in this house, and you'll have to decide whether you're going to go for it or not. Now, let's say I tell you in the bedroom of this house is a $5 bill. Would you be willing to take the action steps necessary to overcome all those obstacles to get the $5 bill? Most people would say, probably not. I could probably use my time in a more effective way doing other things. Well, what if I told you that in the bedroom of that house was one of your loved ones and the house is on fire, and if you didn't get into that house, they would burn and die? Let's say it was your kid. Let's say it was a parent, a best friend, somebody you love, maybe your partner. That changes things when you have that kind of a goal, because you would do whatever it takes to just hop the fence, slay the dragon, jump over a shark, break into the house, get the person out of the burning bedroom, and take off. You'd make it happen. So that's the difference between having a goal and a leveraged goal, and you need to figure out how you can get leveraged goals, because leveraged goals will help you overcome this every time. The 5th habit is self-love. Now, self-love is about accepting yourself as you are, that you don't need to do X, Y, Z to be worthy of love. This is an area that a lot of people struggle with, especially around confidence. The only thing I can say is you need to flip a switch inside and love thyself unconditionally. Take that to heart. I'll share more about this in a different training, and we'll move on to number 6 is gratitude mindset and a daily gratitude practice. That's the other habit that they have. And what happens with this is they actually, whether it's what I do is every morning I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, but this changes your reticular activation system, the thing that you see the most over and over again. If you're doing some sort of gratitude or mindset practice, you start to see more of the positive instead of the negative. Most people by default are in fight or flight, like survival mode. I'm only going to see all the negativity and the stress in the world and the threats in the world. And that's no way to live. It's counterintuitive to getting 30-day beyond streaks. So the key is practice cultivating gratitude. That will switch your reticular activation system. You can Google that, or I'll do a talk about that. It'll shift the focus to positive and helpful things. The last one is stress management. You gotta have some sort of habits around reducing stress. That's the number one killer. The biggest epidemic of our time is chronic buildup of stress, which destroys your hormones, your ability to regulate yourself, your ability to feel relaxed, serotonin. All these neurochemicals are affected by stress and not dealing with it properly. So the most successful people I know, they deal with stress in a very healthy way. They have healthy systems in place and they handle that part of their life. And that's why they can reduce the stress load and the cravings go down. They don't have as much of a need to fap or watch porn because they're managing their stress. When the brain is stressed, it will grab onto anything like sugar, fat, sex in order to try to clear the stress hormones. It'll try that. But if you're clearing the stress hormones naturally and in a healthy way, you don't depend on those vices anymore. And that's one of the biggest secrets to doing this. Now, I have a bonus tip for you. The bonus tip is always improving. The habit that most men that succeed in this goal have is they're constantly improving and optimizing their life. They're not focused on failure. They're focused on learning and growing and improving. And they have a very positive, self-loving feedback loop that helps encourage themselves from the inside out to keep pursuing this and keep getting better at it. Working with hundreds of men, these are the creme de la creme, like the top of the list things that are active and in place in order to help people crush it. So if you're struggling with no fap or you're really having a hard time quitting porn, create an action list, a plan of how you're gonna incorporate these habits into your life and make them your habits. So steal these habits and make them your own. And that is my challenge to you. And if this video resonated with you or you want to add a little bit more as to what helped you, please comment below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm committed to producing weekly content. So make sure you do it, my friends. And I'm really looking forward to sharing more with you soon. So we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.